It is the Sports Fix here on Flow FM, and let's take a look at River Murray football from last weekend. There's some interesting games played. They pretty well went the way we thought they would, although a couple of the margins are of big interest here. Big Bruce is back. How are you, mate?
G'day there, Jason, and huge week in River Murray football, wasn't it?
It was, and I'll tell you what, my poor old Meningie Bears got a fair income reality check when they took on the mighty Jervois boys, and they were back to somewhere near full strength and gave them a fair old pasting, didn't they?
Yeah, well, Meningie had, as we said, Brodie Martin and, of course, James Lawson, their specialist full-back out. And Martin, of course, we know has been up around the big white uprights, kicking a few goals. So they had a couple of their real experienced players out. But, gee, when you look at that Jervois side, their biggest problem is going to be fitting in all the players with the point system, and it just won't happen, Jason. So as much as they can play a couple of juniors in the likes of Bradley Towell and Anthony Long, there's no way known, and this is, I've been down Bridge Street this morning, the main street of Murray Bridge, and it is the talking point that Jervois can't fit in all their players in the likes of Ben Hanson, Mackenzie Hanson, both the Farrar boys. It just won't happen. Of course, Josh Scott is also still 1 point. So it is a big talking point at the moment. The Jervois won't be able to play all these kingpins come finals with the point system. So, and that's about the only thing that's going to hold them back. But, at the same time, the discussion is really Jervois by how far at the moment they are in that scintillating form, and that was showed last week where they just consistently kicked 4 or 5 goals a quarter, and they had the match stitched up at half-time and went on and won the match pretty easily by 63 points. They named as their better players, well, Ben Hanson, and he has just been sensational since crossing the river at the start of the season. Dylan Barry back from up the Northern Territory, and Josh Scott back into that side from injury. So he just welcomed back into that side and smashed home a few more goals for them. And he's just in great form. He kicked 6. And look, anything he could do, Will Farrar could do better. Well, equaled it. He kicked 6 as well. So, you know, when you've got two powerhouses kicking 6 goals each in a match, it's pretty hard to stop, isn't it?
It is, and they were diminished up the forward end, as you mentioned, and down one of their key backs, Meningie, so it was never going to really be their day. But yes,
They named Plungers, Holiday, and Robinson as their best. That would be Robinson's best game for the season. He had a good season last year. He was the Meningie best and fairest, and he just has struggled this year, and so that's good to see him amongst the best. And as you said, Sam Sanders kicked 3, along with the other multiple goal kicker, which was Brad Thompson, one of their recruits this year for the Bears. He kicked 2, but look, they just didn't have enough to go with the Bloods, and in the end were really thumped, weren't they, by 63 points.
That is the case. So let's go to Le Mesurier next. And whilst the final scores here might make it look like a comfortable win from Maipo, it was anything but. This game was still right in the balance at three-quarter time. They overcame a bit of a slow start, the Tigers. They ended up beating the Chooks, but, 5 or 6 goals, there's not much in that.
No, there isn't, and it probably reflects where they are both on the premiership table at the moment. Maipalonga in 6th, Ramblers on the bottom in 7th. And look at those quarter-by-quarter scores. Yeah, neck and neck right through 3-4 to 2 goals, 5-7 to 6-2. The margin by a point to Maipo at half-time. The third quarter, the premiership quarter, Maipo came out and kicked 3, Ramblers kicked 2. But the last quarter, it was where Maipalonga found a bit extra in the tank and cleaned up 7 goals to Ramblers 3 to run out victors in the end by 35 points. They named as their best Kelvin Smith, and he's shown that he's not just talented with a cricket bat, of course, plays district cricket in Adelaide. He can also kick a footy around as well. And quite often you see that multiple talented in a couple of sports. These guys, Jack Wilkins and Hugh Mason, named in their best, along with Sam Elliott, who kicked a couple of goals for the Ramblers. Well, it was a great effort by, and we say this each week, they've got some young players in this side, but Jaden Parker-Menzies, a real emerging young lad, I think he played a bit in the ruck, really emerging for the Roosters, along with the 150-gamer Alex Five, who led from the front Jacob Trevorrow was named third best. In the goal-kicking department, well, it was Wilkins' best game for the Tigers. He finished home with 5 in a great display to Simon Norris and Regan Gotch, whilst for Ramblers, multiples a little bit harder to find, big multiples with Nelson Miller and Matthew Brooks, who transferred over from Imperials a couple of seasons ago with 2 apiece. But look, as we said at the start, they're right whereabouts in this game finished, where they are on the premiership table, and it does keep Maipo in touch with the finals, the top 5 in 5th spot, but they're sitting 6th. I can't see them getting there, Jace.
No, it doesn't look that way, Bruce, but we'll move on to a couple of teams who I think will be, and they had a ding-dong battle here at Tailem Bend. It was the Eagles who prevailed in the end, but Manham gave them all they can handle. In fact, they led them at half-time and looked winners for a large chunk of this game, but Tailem Bend stormed home after the long break and got the job done by 14 points.
Yeah, well, this is a good victory for Tailem Bend because, they've been down for many years and have just got to get that confidence that when they do get behind 2 or 3 goals, which they haven't really had, and we've seen that last year in the finals where they were bundled out. And if they can get a couple of games like this during the year where they get behind and they can dig deep and find something to get back into the match, it is a real positive to come out of the game. And look, Tailem Bend were just, right behind the 8 ball the whole match pretty much. They did get an edge back in front with a good premiership quarter, the third, kicking 5 goal to 2, and that set up that last quarter to keep that momentum and run out winners by just 14 points. They named as their best the Eagles' Nick Westhoff in ruck, and he has just been dominating in that position and made my team of the week several times. Robbie Young, of course, so we know a lot about Robbie Young. He's just starting to hit his straps for the Blue or for the Eagles, and he just needs to keep that form up, and he could become very dangerous in some big games. This is a bloke that's played in some big games and pressure football, so he's going to be a real experienced campaigner come towards the end of the season. And Harry Porter, also one of their imports, named in their best. For Manham, last year's male medalist Blake Tabe, another great game from him. I'm sure the umpires would have given him some votes. Matthew Wiestra, one of their imports, played a good game. And Mitch Huard, one of the younger lads coming through the ranks out there at Roo Park, named third best. In the goal-kicking department, Tailem Bend had several goal kickers. In fact, a swarm of them in the end, kicking 1, but it was Jacob Wilson who led the way with 3, along with Charlie Fisher, who got amongst the multiples, and he kicked 2. But the rest of their goals, which is a good sign for Tailem Bend, lots of goal kickers. So it's always great to get your name in the paper, I suppose. But look, plenty of goal kickers, and that can be a big advantage come towards the end of the season. For Manham, they found him a little bit harder to get, and with someone kicking a big bag, Jake Keller up forward kicked 3, but other than that, Gene Buddle kicked a couple, and the rest, Ribbons kicked a couple, and the rest singles. So, a good performance by Manham. Yeah, 1 or 2 out, but I guess at this stage of the season, most clubs have got 1 or 2 out. It's just how it's going to balance out at the end, but a good victory for for Tailem, which sets up a very interesting ladder.
Well, it does. And the ladder, we've talked about it a few times, Maipo and Ramblers, that gap there closens between Manham and Maipo. But look, at the moment we've got Imperials, Jervois tied on 12 points, Tailem on 10, Meningi 7 and Manham 5. Now, how they finish in order, I think, is going to be the interesting one here, Bruce, particularly with third spot being pretty important.
Oh, look, it'll be extremely vital come the finals. And as we look at that ladder, look, Jervois probably an outside chance to pinch that top spot off Imperials. Some big games coming up against each other and in that top mix. Tailem Bend third currently. But the important part of this ladder, being Maipo down there in 6th spot, they won't have to worry too much about percentage for that 5th place because Manham, of course, with that draw, sit on 5 points, Maipo on 4, so they'd only have to get a win and they'd be in the 5. So, look, that's an important thing when your percentage is not that good with another side above you having a draw, but it can be go the other way as well. But, look, Meningi definitely is a surprise packet this season, and I think it is set, the 5. We've said that, and I think we'll stick with that. The big thing will be just that top 3, and at this stage it looks like Ibsen Jervois will contest for that top spot.
Looks that way, Bruce. We'll catch up on Friday to go through this weekend's round of matches. Some big ones amongst them. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some huge games this weekend, Jason. We'll have to have a quick look at these games this weekend. And, look, it's round 10 before the June 11 association game break. And what about this? The Battle of the Ferries, or the Ferry. It's a Tailem Bend at home playing Jervois. That should be an absolute belter. Meningi play home to Ramblers, so you think they'll get the job done there. And another belter out at Roo Park where Manham host Imperial. So some big clashes in River Murray football this weekend.
Look forward to chatting to you again on Friday about them, Bruce. Until then, mate, enjoy the rest of the week.
Too easy, buddy. Thank you. We'll see you on Friday night.